The silence that followed Ada's spirit from Okonkwo's house was not peaceful. It was heavy, like a wet cloth wrapped around the neck of every man and woman in Anioma. The fires in the village square didn't just go out, they died with a hiss, as if poured on by unseen tears. Okonkwo stood in his compound, his eyes wide. The iron bolt on his door had melted under the spirit's touch, and the scent of jasmine was now the smell of an open grave. He looked at his hands, the same hands that had dragged Obiora into the mud, and saw they were stained with a dark, oily soot that wouldn't wash off. "I am a titled man." He screamed into the darkness, but his voice was swallowed by the shadows. The gods cannot judge a man for obeying the law, but the laws of men are just whispers when the laws of blood have been broken. As the clock struck midnight, the Aikaro drum, the huge wooden drum used to call the village to war, began to beat. But no human hand touched it. The sound was empty, thudding like a heartbeat rising from deep under the earth. Thump thump. In the evil forest, Obiora, still trapped between life and death, felt the sound inside his bones. He was becoming a vessel. His mouth opened, and instead of a scream, a swarm of black, shining butterflies poured out, their wings sharp like blades. They didn't fly toward flowers. They flew toward the village, drawn by the smell of unpaid blood. Back in the village, the chief priest woke to find his shrine destroyed. The sacred carvings of the ancestors were leaking red clay. He ran to the square, his bell ringing wildly. "The gate is open," he cried. "The girl has led the unburied back to us. Okonkwo, where are you?" The villagers came out of their huts, then stopped in fear. The ground beneath them was moving. The red mud of Anioma began to bubble from the very places where Ada and Obiora had been judged. Thin, bony hands pushed through the earth. These were the spirits of those destroyed by tradition over the years, the forgotten wives, the silenced lovers, the rejected ones. Ada stood at the front of them. She was no longer faint. She stood like a queen of the night, her hair moving like smoke, her eyes burning with cold anger. "Okonkwo," her voice rang out, shaking the teeth of everyone who heard it. "The bride price you paid was paper and coin, but the heart you broke was made of spirit. Tonight, the debt is settled." Okonkwo tried to run, but the earth seized his ankles, the mud twisting into a spinning pull, dragging him down. "Please," he screamed, turning to the chief priest. "Make the sacrifice. Kill the white ram. Cleanse the land." The priest looked at Ada's spirit, then at the hands pulling Okonkwo down. He dropped his bell. "There is no ram clean enough to wash this blood away." "You didn't just break a heart. You challenged the gods you claim to serve." Then the butterflies arrived. They fell on Okonkwo's house like black dust. Every person who had cheered when Ada was shamed felt a sharp burn on their skin. A mark appeared on their foreheads, the mark of the Ru, the cursed sign